Welcome back to another episode of Demystifying Debrecen, the podcast. Woo! It's your host, Haneen.
And your host, Zoya.
And today we have a very accomplished, kind of famous... I said accomplished. What else?
Very cool guest.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself.
Hey guys, my name is Mahmoud. I'm in 4th year and I'm from Syria.
Whoa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for hosting me.
So, our very first question that we always ask our guests, how did you find this uni and why did you choose it?
Well, I heard about it from close family friends, and they introduced me to Ediscope where I met you, Haneen. And why did I choose it? Because after that course, I kind of felt like I did an accomplishment.
Yeah, they kind of gaslighted us into
Yeah,
school.
Oh,
they
really?
low-key did. And it's funny that they no longer...
Yeah, they're no longer
ambassadors of the uni. Yeah, they just gaslit us into joining uni. I applied to many other European and back in the UAE universities, and I got accepted, but I don't know, I just like Debrecen, and I felt like I worked too hard for Debrecen.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other, they just carried the info which I learned for Debrecen. And for sure, I'm not gonna go page, but if I kinda can go back, I'd probably pick Semmelweis. But Debrecen is cute.
So why medicine?
Why medicine? I loved biology, and I did the APs in biology, and I had a really nice biology teacher. I don't remember how old she was, but she was kind of old, and I loved her. She was like a queen. She shows up late, leaves quite early, and there was an biology elective. It was a human anatomy, and she used to let me prepare every single day and go present it to the entire class, which honestly I wasn't complaining about because I actually liked it. So yeah, like my love for biology grew, and I like medicine. I can't see myself studying anything else.
Really?
I was good at math. I was good at anything except languages. And but yeah, medicine was the right choice.
Yeah, also with Ediscope, they really gaslight you into choosing medicine because I wanted to go to dentistry. And then, like, when she was interviewing me and making me apply, she was like, oh, but, like, your parents are doctors. It's such a shame to go to dent school.
Really?
Yeah. And then, like, she, like, throughout the entire course, they would put in this, like, you know, and I feel like he also like was choosing dentistry or something.
Yeah, I had that option because it is easier to get into dentistry. I think we needed like much less grades in the entrance exam, which was hard already. But I'm glad. I'm really, really glad we didn't choose dentistry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for all the dentists out there, but it sucks to suck.
Well, I mean, given that, what's it like being in 4th year, Mahmoud?
I really like it.
Yeah?
I feel like clinical subjects are much more interesting, and it's nice and rewarding to see that all the hard work you put in the first 3 years, even though some things might not make sense, like why am I learning this? Actually, they all matter, and you just combine them all in one subject, and you actually learn how to treat and interact with patients, which are like very beneficial for us, and it's very fun. Yeah, other than the 12 exams we have, I'd say it's going really well. You have more time to travel, to do research work, to do demonstrative work. Yeah, time for everything.
Yeah, I really do like that about 4th year. Is that despite all the subjects we have, like,
and they're not really hard. Like the exams, other than the big ones, like pharmacology, I think they take like 2, 3 days, 4 days of studying to master, because we already learned the entire subject.
Since you've visited almost every city in Hungary, which city, or which places in Hungary do you recommend visiting?
Believe it or not, I haven't visited everything. There are a few left on my bucket list.
Your Instagram would say otherwise.
I know, I ran out of the highlight limit. I already went overboard with it. I had to put Hungary too now. But my latest one was to Visegrad. which is on the Danube Bend. It's a mountain. It's very, very beautiful. I think it's highly underrated.
Yeah.
Not many people told me about it. I figured it out by accident while going to Slovakia. I'm like, wow, what is this place? And I saved it to Google Maps and I went back with my friends. There is bobsledding.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
There. And there's a summer one and a winter one. And in the summer, both of them work. It's just beautiful. There's zip lining as well. And you take a ferry from, I think it was called Maros, because that's the side of the train. Then you have to take a ferry, which I think was like 500 forints. And especially with the Hungary pass, you already don't pay for the transportation and for the train. And it was really, really good. Yeah. They don't really have public transportation there, but you can easily, like, you'll find these cards, like tour guide, that like will take you wherever for in a big van for 3,000 forints. And we were like a group of 5-6 people. So when you split it, it's the price of a normal single ticket. That was the latest place, but there are plenty of beautiful places in Hungary.
Yeah.
My favorite, which is very, very close, is near Ghaza.
Yeah. It's
nice.
Actually
too close. It's like 30 minutes away from here, and you feel like you left Debrecen, you left the Soviet Union and joined the EU again. It's really, really nice. The zoo is, I think, the biggest in the region, and I like zoos.
Yeah.
So I've been to the zoo twice, and I used to ride horses there as well for a while. I biked there once as well, but I couldn't come back because it was hard enough to bike there than go and ride 3 horses and then bike back. So I just took the train back.
Yeah. And it's like a 20-minute train or something, right?
Yeah, I think 20, 30, something like that. It's very easy. And with the Hungary Pass, it's almost free because if you don't take the intercity train, if you take the interregional,
you don't have to pay.
You don't have to pay for the reservation.
For our listeners who don't know what a Hungary Pass is, maybe some of you are prospective students or first years, you can buy it for, I think, 1890 forints. And it covers travel like on interregional trains everywhere in Hungary. Like if you take an intercity train, you have to pay the seat fee, which is not that much. It's like
not that much.
600.
If you go to Budapest, it's like 990.
If you buy it on the same day, but if you buy the ticket the day before, it's 600. And if you pick the cheaper option on the intercity, it's only 200 forints.
Yeah, so you only have to pay seat fees on intercity, and you don't have to pay anything on interregional trains. And I think you can also within Budapest you can travel.
Within Budapest with the BKK, they just joined it. I think from the 1st of March, and you can use all public transportation in Budapest for free. Also near Ghaza because it has Volán bus, and also within Hungary. Sometimes when I go with the DOE for the TEDdy programs, you have to take a bus there. And with the Volán bus as well, it's free. Yeah, to take you to the small villages around Debrecen.
Y'all prospective students and first years, real lucky.
I think everyone should have the Hungary Pass, to be honest.
It's actually so useful. It if when I have it, I'm like more like willing to like, okay, maybe I should go to Budapest tomorrow, you know?
Yeah, like you feel privileged.
Nice
like the freedom of travel opens up.
Really, really nice.
And speaking of, there are really good hacks which we figured out, me and like my close friends. You can go to Vienna. Do you know what the normal price?
Yes, you can go to Heges Hallam, no?
Győr
is better. Okay,
safer option.
So Heges Hallam is the last town before Austria.
Exactly. So you would pay. You know what the normal price?
Yeah.
To take it. I think it's like 50
expensive.
or 60 euros.
Yeah, Budapest to Vienna.
Or Debrecen to Vienna. Yeah. Or you can go from Debrecen on the same train that you would have paid 60 euros by paying 900 forints. You will get to Győr, and from Győr you will take
a much cheaper train to Vienna.
The same train. You don't leave the train.
Really?
You don't leave the train. You just buy another ticket while on board. I think it's 20 euros. So that's why you saved like 40 euros just by doing that.
Wow. I actually thought about that.
And I did that 3 times already. And when I went to Slovakia for Bratislava, I did that as well. I don't remember the last station's name, but I did that. I bought the ticket to the last station and I took my bike with me.
Oh.
I love traveling with my bike.
And you biked to Bratislava from there, right?
went all over Bratislava with the bike. It was amazing.
Yeah. Sorry, sorry to the viewers. The reason there's like some typing in the background is because I'm looking up a map of Europe, because I really want us to talk next, because you already mentioned Bratislava, right?
Yeah.
I want us to talk next about some of the places you can visit around Hungary as well. So, of course, within Hungary, from Debrecen, you can go anywhere. You can go Budapest, you can go Pécs, you can go Szeged. All of these places have like some beauty to them. They're really nice.
I've been to Szeged. To be honest, I feel like it's a bit boring.
But I really like it. So pretty.
Yeah,
it is like, pretty, but I feel like it's very empty. Maybe because when I went.
I feel like it's because they don't have as good marketing as Debrecen. Like, they need to work on their marketing towards international students.
Yeah.
But it's a very beautiful city, especially that, like, they have a Corniche-like thing. Like, you can take a walk next to the river, right?
Yeah, there's like a really nice...
The river is like, the tide is very low on that river. Mm-hmm. Also, Eger is really beautiful. I remember I had a really, really good pizza there. Oh. It was so nice.
Well, one of the other closest places to Debrecen is Miskolc, and from Miskolc you can take the bus to Lillaföld, which is
that's one of the only ones I haven't done.
It's really beautiful. Really?
Like,
You've been everywhere, but
not Lillaföld. Imagine.
It's so close.
It's of course on the top of my bucket list, because like FOMO, I need to go there. I don't know how, I've never been there.
It's like a beautiful lake and a really beautiful hotel. Like, it used to be a castle of some kind, but now they've turned it into a hotel. And you can go like boating on the lake, and there's these lovely waterfalls, and you can wander around the castle. It's so pretty. I went like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Also, Balaton.
Oh yeah, Balaton.
But not in summer.
I'm hoping. Why?
Because, like,
is it warm?
No, guys.
I think people only go there in the summer.
Yeah, they only go there in the summer. But, like, it's gonna be too crowded.
It is too crowded. It is too crowded.
Yeah, it's kind of.
But I feel like we've been here for we're gonna be here for 6 years, and we've been here for 4 already. I think we should.
It's time to go to Balaton.
It's time to go to Balaton. It is time, definitely. Yeah. Like, the exchange students that came here went to Balaton, and I haven't went already.
Yeah.
Hortebag is really nice as well.
Oh,
Tokaj is nice. Hajduszabaszló.
Yeah, Tokaj is nice, and Hortebag is nice. Hortebag National Park. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering it.
Yeah, but, no, it's probably
there's also like a specific period in October when you should go, ideally, because they have like the crane migration?
Yeah, they have
this beautiful bird migration, and you can go and watch it. And like, sometimes the university organizes trips there as well.
Yeah, but I've never been on time. I've always wanted to apply.
I always wanted to go to these trips.
It fills up so quickly. It fills up so quickly.
There's also like field trips to, like, grape vineyards.
Oh yeah.
And like apple farms, strawberry farms,
sunflower farms.
They always fill up so quickly.
Fields.
Yeah, there's some really beautiful like natural like countryside in Hungary. You can go see.
I actually don't know how like people go to these farms. So like, if anybody knows, like, please do. I'd love to go, like, especially that the sunflowers are gonna be like blooming soon.
Yeah, I think you need a car.
Really?
There's a really nice sunflower field which I found out by accident. When I was biking from Debrecen to Józsa, there's a big sunflower field that is right next to the bike track, so you can literally even touch the sunflowers. I think that's somewhere we can start with that. Yeah. Józsa's nice as well. If you want to leave the city vibes, even though Debrecen doesn't give that really extreme city vibes, but Józsa is a nice, calm place. Or Palag.
And if you're like gonna go to Budapest, I would also recommend, like, if you have the chance to go to Szentendre. It's really nice.
It's really beautiful.
It's like this little like tourist village type place. You just you take like what's it called? It's not a train or a tram. There's like a small train thingy that you take from Budapest. It's like a trolley, yeah. You take it from Budapest to Szentendre, which is like an hour. And it takes you like up the Danube. And the village is like really small. It has the most beautiful things to like buy and eat. And there's like the riverside, so you can sit there and enjoy your like coffee or whatever. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, when I went there, we took a car from Budapest. There's an app called Gringo, and you just apply with your normal international. They're the only one that accept international, from my knowledge, in Budapest. You just pick up a car from the street, and go to Santander.
Oh.
But you have to rent the car for the day because you have to park it there and take it back to Budapest. You cannot leave it there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, I don't remember the prices, but it wasn't that much. And it was totally worth it.
Yeah,
like
even
you
the
drove
ticket
there.
to Santander was like 400 forints as far as I remember.
Yeah.
It was so pretty.
And it was such an easy drive.
Yeah. I literally just pulled up the map of Europe on my computer so we could look at all the countries surrounding Hungary that we've been to, because of course, like when you're in like Hungary, when you're in Debrecen, the easiest places to travel to are like Hungary's neighbors. Yeah. So where have you been, Mahmoud? Compare notes. No, neighbors of Hungary.
Neighbors of Hungary, I've been to Slovakia and Austria. I'm planning to go to Slovenia and Romania. But to be honest, I've spent it mostly going to the other European countries.
Other European countries.
But it's time to start going to the neighboring countries. I wanted to go to Romania, to Cluj or to Bucharest, but that hasn't happened yet. But I heard there is like something that's new. There's a Flixbus directly from Debrecen to Cluj, like once a day, which will get you there in 4 hours, which is basically like going to Vienna.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to go to Slovakia, but I'm in Slovenia, but it's kind of far.
So I went to Croatia, and from there I went to Slovenia and Italy.
Oh yeah, it's so close.
Yeah, okay. I stayed in Zagreb, and I went on like trips from there to.
I've never noticed that, but that is the next trip idea.
Yeah, so I've been to Slovakia, Austria, Slovenia, and Croatia. And if you zoom in, like there's a little corner where both Slovenia and Croatia sort of meet Italy, right? There's a city here called Trieste, and it used to be a free state, but now it's a part of Italy. And in that city, mostly people speak a mixture of Italian, Slovene, and Croatian.
Oh.
And they're very independent and free-spirited, and I loved it there.
How did you go between Zagreb and the capital city of Slovenia?
Flixbus.
Flixbus took you through all the three cities?
Yeah, I went. I went Zagreb to Ljubljana. Flixbus. It took me like an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then I went. And then I went from Zagreb to Trieste. That took about 4 hours by Flixbus.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's good.
And of course, like Zagreb is really pretty. Like it's very. How do I say this? It's very concrete. You know, like it's nice, but it's a very concrete sort of like. Eastern Europe vibe. Ljubljana is really beautiful. It's like very small, obviously, because Slovenia is like a very small country.
Yeah, I have friends from Slovenia, and they're really nice.
It's really beautiful. And
I want to go visit.
Of course, Vienna is beautiful. Bratislava is beautiful. If you're in Ljubljana as well, you can go to Lake Bled, which is the Alps. It's in Slovenia. It's so there's like a castle in the middle of the massive Lake Bled, and there's a airport right next to it. There's hotels, like resorts, everything right next to it. It's such a beautiful view of the mountains.
Yeah, I think now with the weather getting better, it should be like on the top of the list. Yeah.
And Bratislava and Vienna are, of course, also very nice. Although Bratislava definitely does have that Eastern European vibe as well, like that sort of concrete-ish.
I feel like Bratislava is Vienna, but you put it in the dryer.
I see what you mean.
Just like Vienna, but like much, much smaller. I think a day trip to Bratislava would be
enough to see everything.
More than enough, to be honest. And especially if you have bikes. But it kind of has like inclines and declines.
Yeah, it's hilly.
Yeah, it is hilly. But I don't know if there's lime or anything there. But I think it's definitely worth taking like something to go between the small streets and
yeah, definitely. It's not very walkable as far as I could tell. Like it is walkable, but it's not as walkable as other European cities.
But like if you want to finish it in one day, have something to go faster, because me and my electric bike, I just finished it all, I think in like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I went everywhere.
Yeah.
They have one of the tallest like observatory decks in Europe. It's not that tall. But it's not like the Eiffel or anything, but it's really nice. Like you can see Bratislava from all angles.
It's like there's like a World War II monument there. It's really pretty. And of course, Bratislava, like most places, has like an old city, old town like in the center of it, which is very, very pretty. And then like a Bratislava castle that you can like tour. It's so nice.
Like every other European city.
Every other European city.
A castle, a church, a cathedral.
Yeah, literally. There is a point. I feel like I went to Vienna. Last time I went to Vienna, I was like, things are kind of starting to look all the same now.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's why now I'm thinking of going more toward like Eastern Europe. I've been to Bulgaria because there is a direct flight from Debrecen to Burgas, which is a city right next to the Turkish border, and it's on the Black Sea. It's right over here next to Varna. It's a very small city, but we went with a group. So the company was really nice.
Cute.
And we wanted like beachy shit because it was kind of getting cold in Hungary. It was a bit warmer there. I think it was like 21, 22 degrees.
Ooh.
We still went and swam, even though the water was freezing. But we wanted to make that trip worth it, you know?
Yeah.
It was a really, really nice trip. We went for 4 days. It's cheap as fuck.
That's nice. I didn't know that there was like a direct flight there. That's cool.
The food was amazing. The food was so good.
Dude, I swear, anywhere you go outside of Hungary, you find such amazing food. Like, I found such great food in Zagreb, and I was like, what do you mean?
We did not expect the food to be that good in Bulgaria. It's amazing. Yeah. Like, there was a fish sandwich that tastes really good. The kebabs, the seafood. Yeah. The seafood. I never tried octopus before, but I had there a Caesar salad that had calamari and octopus like fried on top instead of the chicken. It was so good. Like to this day, I'm dreaming about that.
Probably because it's like super fresh, considering it's like seaside.
Everything is fresh. Everything is very cheap. So like everyone always ordered like 3-course meal and dessert, and still it would have been cheaper than ordering anything in Debrecen.
Yeah, dude. When I was in Zagreb, I realized like. By the way, like a taxi here is like you go from maybe university to like city center. That's like 3,000 forints, right? In Zagreb, that distance was like 500 forints. It was like 1,000 forints. My friends and I got tickets for the public transport, which was like not that much actually. Wait, I think I have it. It was 0.5 euros. And if you are taking public transport in Debrecen, that's more than €1. That's like €1.5 or something.
Yeah.
It's so cheap in other countries.
I don't know why Debrecen
is
this expensive. It used to be. I remember when it was cheap.
Yeah.
I miss those old days.
Miss those days.
I really miss them.
Yeah, but you're so right about the food. I don't know, like there's such like even in Budapest though, like to be honest.
And it's even easier to go to Bulgaria now because Bulgaria very recently joined the Schengen area. Ooh. Even though we still could have went with our like visa, our residence permit, it would have allowed us to go to Bulgaria because part of the EU, and we had to get our passport stamped like when we left Debrecen and when we reached Bulgaria. But now you don't need to do that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which makes it much better. It's like traveling to any other European country.
I think with the ones we've left out here are Serbia, Romania, and Ukraine. That's because, well, Ukraine is kind of difficult to visit at the moment.
I really wanted, which is sad because I really wanted to visit, and I think Lviv is very close as well. Yeah, it's right over here, and it's a really beautiful.
I went to Zahoni once, and Zahoni is like the town that borders Hungary and Ukraine. By the way,
it's over here somewhere.
So I went to Zahoni once, like way long ago, before all of the stuff happened, right? And I asked them if I could cross the border. Like I went to there's a bridge there. I went to the guy. I was like, can I just like walk across so I can say I've been in Ukraine? He was like, actually, you can't, because he like asked for my papers. So he's like, oh, you have a resident permit? You can't. It's not part of the EU.
Yeah, you need a passport and all that. But you can do that from Hungary to Slovakia. I forgot the name. Oh, I remember it now. I think it's Esztergom, the city. It has the biggest church in Hungary.
Oh.
And it only has the biggest church in Hungary and a bridge. And on that bridge, in the middle of the bridge, which goes over, I think, a river, there's a red line. And on one side, the Hungarian flag, and on one side, the Slovakian flag.
Cute!
Like, I really want to go there. We almost went there, like, a few weekends ago, but didn't end up happening. We spent it in Budapest instead. I just want to stand in the middle and take a picture.
Cute. And Romania, like Oradea is very close. That's where most people go when they visit Romania, right?
Yeah. I've biked to the Romanian border before. It's just, I think it was like a piece of string and that's it. So I've stepped foot in Romania, but I haven't actually done anything or like seen anything in Romania. So I don't really count myself as I've been to Romania. And there are the little Balkan countries. You can all visit them with Jeddah residence permit, even though they're not in the EU or part of Schengen. Ooh. But if I'm not mistaken, many nationalities, including mine, the Syrian one, and I'm sure about the Jordanian and the Egyptian one because I asked for my friends as well. We can go to Montenegro, we can go to Kosovo, Albania, Serbia.
With just our resident permit?
Just with your residence permit.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
I think Montenegro will be the next destination. It's very, very beautiful.
I think Bucharest for me.
Bucharest?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go there as well. But
with the residence permit that we get in Hungary, we can also travel around to other countries, like in the EU and like around the EU. Like, for example, Turkey. If you have the residence permit here, you can apply for an electronic visa to Turkey and it comes out within like 10-15 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, like it's very fast. Like I was actually so surprised at how fast the process was. And like now, recently, they've opened a flight from Debrecen Airport directly to Istanbul, which is, I think, is amazing.
That's like, amazing, yeah.
It's amazing.
But keep in mind, not all nationalities, you have to check the website, the Turkish visa website, because I know for a fact that Syrian cannot do that. But I think any other nationality, it would be perfectly fine for them to do that.
Yeah.
And the other countries, like I've been to Spain, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Czech.
Jeez.
They're all nice. They're all worth visiting, except Belgium. But generally, like people hate on Paris, but to be honest, it's the most beautiful European city I've ever been to. Yeah. The only thing that is like very close second is Budapest, because I fucking love Budapest.
Yeah, I actually love Budapest as well.
Yeah, Spain is nice, Barcelona is nice, Madrid is kind of boring. It was good because like I did the trip with my sister. We went from Paris to Madrid to Barcelona. Oh. And Madrid was good to take some rest between the two major cities. Paris, everything is free for us students in Paris. Every tourist attraction. The Louvre is free. The other museums are free.
Yeah, by the way, you can, when you're traveling, you can abuse the hell out of your student card. Like, you can use it everywhere for everything. It was such a big help to me when I was in the Netherlands and I was traveling around and stuff. Like, I had to pay like half price or like a really reduced price.
Yeah. It's really, everything in France was free, for me, at least. For my sister, we had to pay because she wasn't a student in the EU. But nothing, which usually are very expensive. They're minimum 25 euros.
Yeah.
Even the Eiffel Tower, it was at, I think the only thing that we had to pay, and it was a very, very discounted, I think like 5 or 6 euros.
Oh.
Once the Eiffel Tower is worth it.
Yeah, no, I definitely noticed the same thing in the UK as well. And of course now you need a visa for the UK. Since Brexit. But I feel like a visa comes like relatively quickly and they usually approve it if they know that you're like a student in the EU and you have like the EU
you have to submit
card.
the student status.
It's not that difficult to get a UK visa for visiting.
And the appointments are easy compared to like other countries, embassies.
And even there, like your student card, your Hungarian student card goes a long way.
Yeah.
That's a lot. What about you? Like, what has your experience been like traveling from Debrecen, like to these places? Like, what did you do?
The worst part is the 3-hour train from Debrecen to Budapest.
Right.
Like, I wish more destinations are from Debrecen. The Netherlands, when I went to the Netherlands, it was to Eindhoven. I think you've been there as
Debrecen to Eindhoven?
Yeah. It's relatively easy. And even from Eindhoven to Amsterdam, it's just a shuttle bus that is an hour, I think, or an hour and a half.
Yeah. But, and don't make this mistake, I made this mistake. I made my flight from Eindhoven back to be very early in the morning. And then I found out there were no buses running at that time. So, rookie mistake on my part in my like second year.
I went to visit some family. My aunt lives like 30 minutes away from Eindhoven in Tilburg. And that was easy. I think there was only that one flight. But I think, as you said, like if you were coming from, either sleep in Eindhoven the last night or take the later flight to Budapest.
Yeah.
And take the 3-hour train ride back.
Yeah. Debrecen airport schedule is a little bit like up in the air. Like they have flights.
It's a small airport.
It's a small airport, so they change up their flights from time to time. Sometimes they'll have
heard that, like, they have the new flight directly to Egypt, like to Hurghada.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so random.
Something like that.
I think they opened it and closed it. I think it will reopen in the summer. I'm not sure.
They have seasonal stuff as well. So you can go Debrecen to Eindhoven, you can go Debrecen to London, you can go Debrecen to Munich, Brussels, I think. There was one to
Brussels? No, I don't think anymore.
Not anymore, but it was like one time. I remember I saw it on the...
In the summer, there's a lot. There's to Corfu in Greece. The Burgas one in Bulgaria is also only in the summer. It's seasonal as well. I don't remember what else.
And a lot of these flights are like very, very cheap. Like a lot of, like, if you scout around a bit, you can find a Budapest to anywhere flight for like 20 euros, 30 euros, 40 euros, like easy.
Exactly, there's almost nothing.
Wizz Air and Ryanair. Just be prepared to like not back anything.
I feel like Wizz Air, they're much more lenient.
They are, right? I
From
think so
my
as well.
experience, they're much more lenient, and I don't know why, but they're much cheaper. Like everyone talks about Ryanair, how cheap Ryanair is.
Yeah.
But I felt it's the opposite.
Really?
Yeah. And it's really easy to get to anything, to be honest. Just the 3 hour, but even though, like, you don't get that tired. So for example, going back home, you have to, in your case, you have to go to Istanbul, then to Pakistan.
Yeah.
Or for us, back to UAE, it's a 5-hour journey as well. So adding the 3 hours will take a lot of time and energy. But to the EU, I think the longest one was 2 hours to Belgium. That's the longest flight I've taken.
Dude, even when I went to Helsinki on my way to New York, and even that flight was like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It wasn't that long.
Yeah,
everything is so small, like actually. Nearby.
Yeah, Europe is small.
Yeah,
I've seen those TikToks where they take like American, put it over Europe, or they take like any like African, put it over Europe.
Yeah,
or just Russia and put it over Europe. Europe is very small. That makes sense why we can visit everything really quickly. And I don't think any European country takes more than 3-4 days. If it's major, if it's a smaller city,
you're gonna be fine.
Or 2, 1 night is maximum.
I have I think 3 days. I think is gonna be enough for Portugal.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
And another thing that I wanted to ask you about actually is like, is there specific places that you stay? Is there something you particularly look for to do? Because we are like students traveling on a budget, but we also want to make sure we see everything and we're not like...
Yeah, I try not to stay far away from center. If I'm going with a big group, Airbnbs are amazing.
Ideal, yeah, that's true.
Like a 2-3 bedroom apartment for 4-6 people. It depends on how many we're going with.
One of your friends told me that when you guys went to Medcup, which we will talk about more in a bit, she found a Facebook group that has like a couch surfing, it's like a couch surfing Facebook group, and she found somebody who was willing to let her stay at their house, and she went and stayed there.
Yeah.
And that group was for girls only, but apparently there's a lot of groups like that on Facebook.
Yeah, there are groups like that, and I know a lot of people like have success stories with them. I personally would rather just book a hotel room myself.
That's crazy, guys. Like, shout out to you for having the courage.
Yeah.
I personally could never.
Yeah.
But like, there's just something that I've heard is like student hostels, where basically different people from different countries, they like kind of sleep. There's like a bunk bed rooms, and they sleep together. They get to know
I tried
each
that
other.
once a few weeks ago in Budapest. I don't usually take dorms, to be honest. I would much rather take a hotel room or an Airbnb, a private one.
Nice?
I don't know, but it was kind of funny, and it wasn't as bad as I expected. First of all, they gave me the sheets, and I had to put them on the bed myself.
Yeah.
And I was sharing. It was a room of 6. Luckily, the 2 others were my friend, and there was just one more guy. The other 2, I don't know, their stuff were there, but they didn't show up. But still, it was quite weird, to be honest.
It's a weird sensation. So my cousin did like one of those proper Europe tours where she like went to multiple cities within like 1 month. Yeah, backpacking through Europe with like the hostel thing. And when she came to Budapest, I went and I saw like how she was living for real. And honestly, I was really surprised at the quality of certain hostels. Well, she was telling me about some of the hostels she'd stayed in, and they were super simple, like 6 bunk beds and absolutely nothing else. But there was this one hostel in Budapest, which was absolutely crazy. I forget the name. I'll look it up. but it was like
crazy nice or crazy bad.
It was really crazy nice. It was like it was still the whole like bunk bed thing, but they had like rentable bikes, they had available breakfast, they had locker rooms and like all kinds of sports equipment and stuff that
I think that's the one I went to.
Yeah.
But I still felt like I'm in the game.
It's weird. It's weird to like share your bedroom.
Be so interesting though.
It's weird to share your bedroom with so many people. It's like a little risky for sure.
But like you can get to know many people as well.
That's
like I've
true.
seen a video of a girl who like came to Budapest here and she stayed in a hostel. And she's like an influencer, right? And then like she said that like she met people and she went to dinner with them.
These hostels like organize events as well for people.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. That's how I got introduced.
Yeah, but it's not always students as well. Like the guy with us was a lawyer. I'm like, why are you staying at a hostel when you're a lawyer already?
Because they're super cheap.
Yeah, because he works remotely.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was like, we were talking. I told him like I come from Dubai, and he's like, "Oh, I've been to Dubai. I was there. I think last month. I stayed there for 2 weeks, and I was in Bali before that. Honestly, it's a vibe to live and work like remotely.
Maybe he's a lawyer, but spent all his money on travel, so that's why he's in a hostel.
Probably. To be honest, he was French, but also he was sick. Because he went the day before swimming and it was cold. So we had to share that room with him. Oh, so you already know my germaphobe friend pulled out I don't know why he had a Dettol spray that was used back in the COVID days to like, but it was needed. Because to be honest, when we entered that room, the humidity was so high and it smelled like a gym locker room and not a good gym locker room.
Oh no!
So overall,
so don't go hostels.
There are some good quality ones in Budapest, Vienna, etc.
Yeah, in Vienna, I saw like this one in Vienna that looks very nice. It's almost like a 5-star hotel, but like
it's become a big business. I'll just say that. But there's still the risk. You are sharing your room with somebody. First of all, you are sharing your bathroom. You cannot do anything for yourself. You cannot have anything done for you. Like the way that you would in a hotel. And the honest to God truth is a hotel would not be that much more expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think because when my cousin came, I ended up staying in Budapest one night with her. And she was in the hostel, and I think her hostel cost like 35 euros something a night. And then I found like a hotel nearby that was like 45, 50 euros a night. It wasn't that bad either. It was nice.
Yeah, I remember it was I think like 5-6K,
but I understand
which was really good. Like 5-6K for a hostel, that's almost nothing.
I understand wanting to stretch the euro though. I also spoke to her about some people that she met who were literally living in hostels in Europe, backpacking through Europe, that was their entire life.
Yeah.
Because people do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're staying 1 day or 2 days and you're just roaming around the city for 1 day.
Then maybe it's not so bad.
That's not that bad.
I think I wouldn't do it when I'm alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can get a lower quality hotel room for almost the same price, which I have done before. It's very basic. It's just a bed and bed sheets, which I usually I prepare myself and I already get my own bed sheets or pillow cover because I ain't sleeping on that bed sheet.
I understand. That's that's something my mom would do.
Yeah, but it's safe, I probably learned it from my mom because that is what she would do if we have it safe.
But I feel like I would stay in a hostel if there were more girls there with me. Yeah. I would never stay.
Oh no, it's they're separated. The rooms are usually separated.
Usually, but not always. Because the one that my cousin stayed in wasn't separated.
Oh no, the one we stayed in, there was a girls' room and the guys' room.
Yeah.
I think if you're going as a group of 4 people or 6 people and you get a 6 people hostel and you make sure they put you in the same room, and you also have to compare it to an Airbnb because usually an Airbnb for 6 people will already be cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Burgas, it was such a nice apartment, newly renovated.
And you split it 6 ways easy.
6 ways, I think it was for 4 nights. We paid 50 euros each, which is pretty good.
That's pretty
for
good.
4 nights. Imagine we were 6 people, and it was top-notch apartment in the middle of the city. I mean, the city was small, but
yeah, no, of course. But even when I went to Zagreb with my friends, we split an apartment. And I think this is a big thing here as well, is that there will be apartments, non-Airbnb apartments. You can find them on booking.com and stuff. There are companies that buy up whole apartment blocks and then have each of those apartments be like a place for a tourist to stay. And it was such good quality. It was so cheap. It was so nice. Split 3 ways. We just like, pull out the couch easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so cute.
So in the beginning of the episode, I mentioned that he's a very famous guest. And that's because you were mentioned in the Debrecen newspaper.
Yeah.
For winning the Medcup. Like, what was that all about? Like, what is even the Medcup?
I was mentioned because I won second place in Belgium. There was a medical competition, which is for medical students, made by medical students, called the Medcup. And we won second place. The university sent us. Thank you. It started off here. There was like
skills.
The people from Medcup came here to promote the event through DOE, which we'll be talking about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah. And so I went to that competition and we scored third place. In the beginning, they told us the first place is going to get the entry ticket to the Medcup paid. So like a sponsorship, basically. In the beginning, only the first place. We won third place, me and my partner, here in Debrecen. Then, a few months later, the Vice Dean reached out to us and it's like, we're sponsoring the top 3, which includes us. And we were already going to the Medcup, but it's better that we're sponsored.
Yeah. Official UniDeb representative?
Yeah. It was a few teams actually from Debrecen, like more the top 3, which were sponsored, and I think there were 4 other teams which self-sponsored themselves to the Medcup. So we had like a strong team there. There was over 100 team. I think over 200, almost 300 students were competing, and it involved, if I remember correctly, like 8 challenges. It included 2 radiology, 1 ultrasound, and 1 it was a CT.
Was it like a competition or a conference?
No, it was a competition. Like you'd get the badge on the first day, which includes what you're gonna do. It was a 2-day competition. It includes that you have to go by this time to this place, and there were lectures and med talks, and there were work labs where we got to try new technology, which is actually very interesting. There's one which I know you would like. It's by, I think, Insimo, the company. It's basically an ultrasound simulator where you download the ultrasound app, like the simulator, from their website, and you attach it to your phone. Like you connect it to your phone with another app, and you can just scan you can scan a friend, or most probably just your table with the phone, and you will see an image. And there's a body that will show you where you are on the body just by moving the phone, any angle, raising it, going deeper. Honestly, it was such a nice thing.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But how do they detect the sound waves?
No, it's a simulator. It doesn't detect it. It just detects your hand movement. And you'll train your eyes because you'll have the image there. Like it's already preset. So you will choose the pathology already. No. It's not. It's a simulator. Okay. It's for us medical students to practice ultrasound, and they have echo and like many uses of ultrasound. And I heard they're getting better and better. There was a spinal tap one. There's a robotic surgery. There were way too many. It was also sponsored by Canon. So Canon had their proper ultrasound machines there where we got to practice on each other, and part of the competition was that we had to find the median vein, the median nerve to check for carpal tunnel. And we had to find it from the cubital area and trace it back to the wrist joint and measure the circumference of the median nerve, which was really cool. And to be honest, mine is a bit big, so I'm kind of concerned for carpal tunnel syndrome. Accidental finding.
Incidental finding.
Incidental.
Yeah. Wow.
It was so nice. There was emergency situation where, because another sponsor was like something with emergency equipment. So we had to act in a scenario. So there are patients and we had to save them. Another one was giving an IV, like I think it was like iron or something. And you had like papers where you had to fill them up, but you can use resources. So like you have to use proper resources. And thankfully we know how to use proper resources because of this uni. So it was actually really good. What else? There was the Belgian defense team, which honestly was the most interesting one. There were 10 cases, and those cases were injured by
Real
like an
cases.
attack. They were, yeah, like
Big.
they were soldiers. Like they were actually soldiers who are part of the event, and they're acting. Like they had makeup and everything, and they had a paper on their chest, and you had to triage them. And there's a flow chart outside which you can read, which we read really quickly, and like we kind of memorized it before going in. Then you have to go, and from that flow chart you have to decide, because to tell you they're hypertensive, if they're awake, they're alert to sound,
severe
alert
injury
to
or not. Yeah.
Like it will just tell you the basic information. You have to triage them like T1 to T4, and we did really well in it. And they're acting, so they would like grab your leg and be like, help me, or like pull you down, and you had to like, you know, hold them on the ground and be like, don't move, we're here to help you. It was actually really nice, and they put like the first aid clothes on you. It was really, really, really nice, and we did really well in that challenge. Surprisingly, I think we got 9 out of 10, and not many people got 10 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah. The rest there was a farm hackathon, which included, it's basically like preventive. Like we had a scenario kind of like COVID, and every 20, like we had to read a lot of papers of all the information. Then every 20 minutes, they would introduce a new problem that occurred, or a new piece of information. And we had to create a PowerPoint presentation with everything. And it was a team of 6 people, basically 3 teams, 4 teams, I'm sorry, 4 teams. I think all our group had 4 teams, but usually 3 teams. And you do that PowerPoint presentation together and submit it, and it gets evaluated later. Like, how are you gonna allocate the funding in the government? What rules would you put? Basically, preventive and public health. What else? I'm trying to think. I think that's pretty much it.
So you stayed there like only 2 days?
No, I actually stayed there for like 4 days. 4 nights, 4 nights. Because we wanted to explore Belgium as well. I've been to Belgium in 2016, but I wanted to go again. It's nice. Surprised, I liked it more. I didn't like it the first time I went, but this time I liked it more. I wouldn't say the safest European country I've been to. Yeah, like be careful for your phones.
Did something happen?
We heard
there are some things that happened.
Yeah, watch out for your phone in Belgium. Watch out for your phone in France, I think. Watch out for your phone in Italy. Like, be careful.
Just be alert with your things, guys, when you're traveling, because you're not in. Like, surprisingly, Debrecen is safe enough, even though there were a few pickpocketing accidents that happened here.
Pickpocketing here, like in Europe in general, like their hands are very light. Like, you don't feel it until it's too late.
Yeah, Debrecen is like relatively safe. Well, Budapest is relatively safe, but it does lull you into like a sense of security that you need to be careful about. Like,
because
Budapest and Debrecen both, like they're relatively chill.
For sure, that's for sure. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and then they pick the top 4 teams from all those challenges, and there are extra point challenges where we had to write. We had to write like a message to the Doctors Without Borders. Ooh. Like we had to take pictures, and then we like write a nice message and put it in a book, which they sent it to Doctors Without Borders. And some other surveys we had to fill, and there was a quick like flashcard that you have to answer it, and you'll get like a bonus point extra. There's also one, it was like a mega bonus, 100 points you would get if you get it, but we didn't win it, unfortunately. You had to fill an Excel sheet. They're trying to figure AI and medicine together. So they're like, what are you think the diseases that would work well with this AI? Like something rare, like SLE, or like something that's not easily diagnosed. and that AI would diagnose it. So you had to put like 3 options, and then the person who's in charge of this, I think he was the chief medical officer for the HUB University in Brussels. Hospital University. I won't even try to say it in French, but it's something like Hospital University Brussels, but in French. And I didn't win that, but surprisingly, those people didn't end up on the podium. Which we all thought that if you get that, you'll end up on the podium, but I think they didn't do as well in the other challenges. But it's a nice experience. I met so many people. I met so many people from all over the world, all over Europe. Made a lot of friends, and even the people in the Medcup, they're really, really friendly. The staff, because they're also medical students or like former medical students. And yeah, so they picked the top 4, and they picked us as well. We were part of the top 4. We had to go on stage. It's almost like a TV show where we had buttons. I think you've seen the pictures, or I don't know if you've seen the videos as well, because it was like live streamed on YouTube and I think on TV, some kind of Belgian TV. Yeah, I attached it to the post. It's in the comments. The link is in the comments.
Cool. That's really cool. That sounds so exciting. Wow.
It's so exciting. It was like 3 rounds, and they eliminate one. And to be honest, we're kind of nervous in the beginning. So we didn't do as well in the beginning. Then we had a comeback. Like, I think I snapped myself out of it. I'm like, it's time. Like, hello, we're losing. We're literally losing. Everyone else is doing much, much better. But to be fair, it's our first time in the Medcup. Most of them have been there before. But I think it's the 4th or the 5th one. I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, so we got better, and surprisingly, we weren't like in the end. Then we won that round and the one after, and we were just 1 point away from winning the Medcup. It's just the OPD.
But you got a shout out from the Vice Dean during the half graduation dinner.
Oh yeah, the Vice Dean was really happy about this accomplishment. We all are, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah,
it's a win for Debrecen.
Yeah.
It is a win for Debrecen, and even that's why they put it.
It's a big win for you.
It is definitely. I'm very happy with it. I'm very grateful for the support from everyone in the university. A lot of people from the university were volunteering there. That was so nice. Like, even looking in the crowd, like, it had so many people, but I can see the familiar faces, especially in the front row. And like my friends or the colleagues, which I see in the library, and they're all cheering for me, and I can hear them between the rounds. It was honestly such a nice experience. I hope everyone goes through this and experience this nice experience. Yeah.
So, how would one go about getting into the Medcup, or like getting there?
Yeah, I've spoken to the Vice Dean. We're gonna do more of those like mock competitions here in Debrecen. It's all through DOE. Honestly, joining DOE was really good for me. In the beginning I joined it genuinely just because my friends are there, and this used to be our hangout. Like, like you'd hang out and get points at the same time. But I've grown to love DOE. It has given me so many opportunities. Like, half of my LinkedIn is because of DOE account. Yeah, like, it's really fun. We go to kindergartens and teach kids about healthy habits, like 3-4-year-old kids, sometimes even a bit older. And now there's something new, which I'm certified to do, but I haven't done yet, which we go to high schools and we talk to kids in English. Usually the preventive one was in Hungarian with children, but now we're gonna go give like an unconventional English class and like talk to them about like healthy habits and like future goals and motivation and all that, which is really cool.
Wow.
But due to the Medcup, as the first question was, I don't usually stay within one topic. That's my ADHD kicking in. For the Medcup, we're gonna do more of this competition. That's why I urge everyone to join DOE, even though it's not limited to DOE.
So you can only join the Medcup mocks thingy if you're in the DOE?
No. It was not mandatory to do that. But if you're in DOE, you'll get points for it, which easily you'll get. I think it was like 14 points. 14 points. It's really good in DOE. It can get you. But the goal of getting those points is to score an exchange later.
Yeah. That's the point of like joining the DOE. Like, it's like a society. It's like a.
It's associated with the IFMSA, the International Federation Medical student association.
Yeah. So when you join DOE, you start collecting points by going to various events, and they have like little competitions and trivia and stuff, and you can collect more points that way.
There are some educational stuff, some fun matters, and the goal depends on the competition or the event that's happening. You collect points. I collected a lot in the summer as well because we had the exchange students coming in August, and we hosted them, and we had a lot of fun, honestly, with them. Like, it made my summer practice much more enjoyable. It was really nice hanging out with them and seeing them so excited.
So how many points do you get for hosting an exchange student?
For hosting, you get 100. I did not personally host, but 100 is really good. That will guarantee you a good country. Like, I applied with my 160 something points.
Oh, sheesh.
And you add some more, like you add degrees, and you add any demonstrative work you have, or any research work you have, any language exams you have, like your IELTS, your DELF. For us in UAE, I applied the, what was it called? The MSAT, yeah. I applied that for Arabic as well, and I got all bonus points. It added up to 190 something, I think 6 or something. I was able to land Italy.
Oh!
Yeah, it's not the country I wanted. I was aiming for Portugal or Spain or Tunisia.
Oh.
I really wanted Tunisia, to be honest.
Really?
I feel like it's exotic, like you go experience something new.
What do they speak in Tunisia?
Arabic.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like
Arabic, French.
Yeah, I feel like I'll learn something. I ended up in Italy. I chose neonatology. I hope I end up getting neonatology. Because thinking about it, babies are not going to speak. If I do it here, if I do it in UAE, if I do it in the UK, I'm not going to understand from that little child that was reborn hours ago. Yeah, and the doctors have to speak English. That's part of the IFMSA rules and regulations.
Okay, so you redeem your points at some point for an exchange.
You can. There's Scopy and Scori. Scopy is the professional exchange. Scori is the research exchange. And anyone can apply for the Scori. For example, dentistry students can apply for the Scori. Other fields of biology or medical diagnostics can apply for a Scori. For a Scopy, you have to be a medical student. And there are plenty of countries. Almost everyone I know got a country. And a lot of cool countries as well. Like, there was Thailand, there is Japan, there is South Korea, Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah, no, friends going to Cuba as well. Yeah.
That's very nice.
Some countries you have to speak the language. Like Cuba and Brazil, you have to speak Portuguese and Spanish, which some people do here. There was Quebec in Canada. You had to speak French and some others. But Italy, luckily, I just needed my English degree. And I really hope I get into my first option. To be in Sicily, Catania, on the beach. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Good for you.
Hey.
So, is there anything else you want to say or shout out to people?
I think everyone should join DOE.
I feel like joining DOE after this.
You have to. Honestly, I've talked about with both of you before. We always, I heard, very common excuse is, not this semester. I don't have time. Everyone has an hour once a week to get points, which will later benefit you. And as the CV is very important. Whenever I want to do an exchange outside, the CV is required, and they ask if I've done any other professional experience or all that. And grades are important, but I feel like even in the US, I heard it's even more important to have, and in the UK, to have a strong CV with community service and all that. They're just as strong as having a good, strong GPA.
Yeah, no, definitely having other activities in your CV really boosts it.
Yeah, and we all have time. Yeah, I'd say maybe not second year, but from third year, everyone has time for DOE.
DOE has started sort of expanding its reach in the sense that I found out this semester that I go to chess club on Thursdays. Chess club, you can get 1 point from DOE for going.
Exactly. And you already go there every week. So just imagine how many points you have piled up.
10.
And 1 point is good. DOE is a strong currency.
Yeah. It's not so nice. Like I see you guys like having those like cardiology quizzes and things like that. It's cute.
And sometimes they have like doctors coming in. Like there was a radiologist that works at a private clinic, I think, in a city nearby. Yeah, he's also one of the girls' uncles, like one of the admins. And he came and he gave a really beautiful radiology lecture about breast cancer and all the types and everything in radiology, which includes nuclear medicine and imaging radiology.
Awesome. And is there anything you wish you had known before coming to Debrecen?
I think I've known a lot of the things, but mainly I had higher hopes for horse riding because I used to ride professionally back home, and I thought like I'm coming to Europe, and as I know, usually that in Europe we have really good horses, and we usually import the European horses to the UAE and like to compete on them. But when I came here, I was disappointed to say that not many trainers speak English. I think like one or two, and to be honest, the level of training and the level of horses I saw here is not up to what
the
expectations and what my level is. Like I basically put it on hold for a while. Yeah, I was working with horses for a bit, riding on my own, but that even.
Can I ask, like, did you find you had less time for that as well, or no?
I think if I had the I got less motivation for that because I saw like the people with me were growing. Like people who used to be at my level or even lower than my level are growing, who decided to stay in the UAE, and they're competing more, and they have like better horses, bigger horses. They reach like higher levels, while I'm not even sure I'm at the same level I was before. Like I'm definitely out of practice. And
do you practice when you go home?
I do try to ride, yeah, because a lot of my friends back home are equestrians, so I just they ask me to ride their horses and I do it. Or, for example, there are some clubs that I know have really good horses. I just go to those people with the good horses and ride. And I got to compete like last year for once, which I haven't done in so long. Since I remember after first semester, I rode a lot when I went back home because I was still in the horse hype, and I was like, but now it kind of died down. Unfortunately, because as I said, I don't feel like I've gone like further with that sport. But it's fine. I'm gonna get there eventually. Yeah, let's get that money.
It's great that you have like that to do as well. Like it's good that you have such a different interest outside of medicine. That's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, and now I started fencing. I mean, I
you started fencing. How did you start fencing, by the way? Where is that?
It's so far. It's so far. It's even further than Debrecen's airport. But to be honest, it's such a nice thing. I really like it. Like I'm not very sporty, you know, but I really like that sport. Like it's giving me horse riding.
Is it through university at all, or?
It's through university. It's a PE.
Oh.
Yeah, and we pay like a very cheap price. We have to pay. It's not one of the free PEs. I think it's 6,000 a month.
Like, it's not bad.
It's not bad if you're going once a week, and the trainer is British, and he's really, really, really good. British. I had to put the accent in, you know.
That's cool. Wow.
So he trains in English. So I get so happy, and I feel like it's very close to horse riding. Because I mean, back in the day, it used to be like
both
done together.
Oh my god! If I ever need someone to medieval fight for me, I know who to call.
I can fence. I can ride horses. You name it.
Nightmare.
I already have the helmets.
Thank you so much for coming here today and being part of our podcast.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
So I'm going to leave Zoe to her favorite part.
You can follow us on Instagram to see when our next episode is going to be released, when we're going to be asking for guests, when we're going to be hinting at what we're going to talk about. And you can find us, as always, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. For now, every Saturday at 12. Thank you.